Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Amir bin Adnan and I am going to start off with the introduction. So, what is risk management? Risk management is a process of understanding and managing the risk that the entity is inevitably subject to attempting to achieve its corporate objectives. For management purposes, risks are usually divided into categories such as operational, financial, legal compliance, information, and personnel. One of an example of an integrated solution to risk management is enterprise risk management. Next, I am going to explain to you about audit committee. An audit committee is a committee of an organization's board of directors which is responsible for the oversight of the financial reporting process, selection of the independent auditor, and receipt of audit results, both internal and external. The primary purpose of an audit committee is to provide the oversight of the financial reporting process, the audit process, and the system of internal controls and compliance with law and regulations.
Hi everyone, now you guys have learned on what is audit committee that has been explained by Amir, right? So now let's get to know the benefit of audit committee. I will be explaining on the first two benefits of the audit committee. The first benefit is audit committee can provide actionable insight to oversee and improve financial practices and reporting. In a high-performing organizations, audit committees provide oversight. They usually meet with CEO along with financial officers to review and maintain the effectiveness of organizational control, including with the external financial reporting. They often work with partnership with financial committee, which is typically focused on internal reports, operational issues, and financial strategy. That is why it can improve the practices in the company. The second benefit is audit committee can create and maintain effective anti-fraud programs. With their insight and expertise in financial, legal, management, and operational issues, audit committee members can play a proactive role working with an organizational leadership team and auditors in creating and periodically review the organization-wide fraud prevention and detection program. It can ensure the investigation are undertaken if fraud is uncovered. They can also encourage the organization leadership team to establish a comprehensive ethics and compliance program. That's all from me. I will now pass to Shafiqah for the next benefit of the audit committee.
Next, the third benefits of audit committee as described by AICPA is that audit committee helps in enhancing the internal audit function. An organizational structure that has the internal audit team reporting directly to the audit committee contributes to the overall integrity of the internal audit function. Under this structure, the internal audit team can serve as the audit committee's eyes and ears regarding the organization's ability to meet its financial and compliance responsibilities and ensure that the organization adjusts practices and internal controls as needed. Lastly, audit committee also oversee the organization's external audit. An audit committee meets with external auditors to monitor their services and activities to ensure that independence is maintained between the external auditor and the organization's management team. An audit committee also meets with external auditors to discuss their independent observations on management's ability to maintain strong internal controls, appropriate financial reporting, and sound business practices.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Izzatjazira binti Khairul Anwar and I will explain on the roles and responsibility of audit committee in risk management. The first role of audit committee is to reviewing the effectiveness of internal control and risk management system. The audit committee should independently review the adequacy and effectiveness of the system of internal control and risk management. While overseeing the risk management function, the audit committee members are expected to demonstrate key attributes such as analytical and creative skills and possession of broader business experience. in addition to financial expertise. Therefore, it can ensure that those other risks that may have financial reporting implications can be well managed. The second role is to review risk assessment process. The audit committee should review the process by which the entity's significant risks are identified and ensure that the board is fully apprised of these risks. The audit committee should fully scrutinize the risk register that results from the processes for risk identification and assessment. Risk identification should be carried out in a systematic manner. There are a number of methodologies available to achieve a structured prioritization of the risk confronting entity. The third role is the audit committee should define the process to be adopted for its review of the effectiveness of internal control. As part of its assessment, the audit committee should obtain from management an overview of the risk facing the organization, together with the policy, procedure, and controls in place to mitigate the risk. The audit committee should receive information that is manageable. This should not be so voluminous as to deter a proper understanding of the key risks. It is more important that the audit committee gains a meaningful insight into the key resources of risk and how effectively such risks are being managed, rather than getting entangled without adequate focus with a long list of every imaginable risk facing the business.
I will continue with the reporting to the board. The audit committee should report to the board its deliberations on the monitoring of the effectiveness of internal control and risk management systems. The board will then need to form its own view on effectiveness based on the information and assurance given by the audit committee, and exercising the standard of care generally applicable to directors in the performance of their duties. And as for external reporting, the audit committee needs to be cognizant of any external reporting requirement relating to risk and control, whether that is private reports to regulators or disclosure in the annual report and financial statements. The committee should ensure that it is provided with appropriately documented support for any risk and or internal control statements or reports it. Next is possess a wide range of necessary skills to discharge duties. All members should be financially literate, competent, and are able to understand matters under the purview of the audit committee, including the financial reporting process. This will enable them to continuously apply a critical and proper view on the company's financial reporting process, transactions, and other financial information, and effectively challenge management assertions on the company's financials. The audit committee should demonstrate an appropriate level of vigilance and skepticism towards, among others, detection of any financial anomalies or irregularities in the financial statement. And next is to communicate its insights, view, and concerns. Audit committee needs to appropriately communicate its insights, view, and concerns about relevant transactions and events to internal and external auditors. Audit committee must ensure that their concerns on matters that may have an effect on the financial or audit of the company are communicated to the external auditor. And last but not least is provide assurance. It is responsible to provide assurance that the corporation is reasonable compliance with pertinent laws and regulations, conducting its affairs ethically, and maintaining effective controls against employee conflict of interest and fraud by reviewing corporate policies relating to compliance with laws and regulations, ethics, conflict of interest, and the investigation of misconduct and fraud. Reviewing current or pending litigation or regulatory proceedings bearing on corporate governance in which the corporation is a party. Reviewing significant cases of employees' conflict of interest, misconduct or fraud, and requiring the internal auditor to report in writing annually the scope of the reviews of corporate governance and any significant findings. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Liana. Now I'm going to present on ways to improve the effectiveness of Audit Committee. The first one is Audit Committee transparency. For Audit Committee reporting to be meaningful, there needs to be strong and candid disclosure of the Audit Committee's work and key areas of its agenda and discussions. Such disclosure should provide insights on the significant issues the Audit Committee consider in relation to the financial statements and how these issues were addressed. Many corporate governance codes and regulations include requirements around Audit Committee disclosure. The second one is effective communication. The importance of effective communication flows to and from the Audit Committee cannot be overstated. This includes written and in-person, formal and informal communication with management, internal and external audit, the CFO and finance function, and the board. There need to be full discussion and deliberation on key aspects of the Audit Committee's work and any significant issues they have identified that warrant the full board's attention.
The third point is committee composition, including appropriate skills, competencies, and expertise. Ensuring the right composition of the Audit Committee is vital but can be very challenging. Requirements vary across jurisdictions, but generally, there must be at least one member who is financially literate. This can put a huge burden on one of the individuals if they are the only person on the Audit Committee to have financial reporting and accounting expertise. Diversities of experience, perspectives, and expertise as well as industry knowledge are also extremely important, particularly given the widening mandates of audit committees beyond financial reporting oversight. Audit committee members need continuing development and education to keep them up to date on current issues, but often there is no formal education for audit committee members, and even cases where audit committee members have never interacted with auditors prior to joining the audit committee. Training programs, guidance, and other support tools are essential to ensure the audit committee maintains knowledge of relevant developments in accounting and corporate reporting, as well as new technologies and their impact on the business and future of audit. Approaches to ensuring sustained expertise of the audit committee can be varied and include formal training and education, mentoring, and engagement with experts inside and outside of the organization.
Last but not least is well-defined work scope. It is crucial to have well-defined scope of responsibilities that are understood by audit committee members as well as others in the organization. Having a well-defined work scope helps improve work coordination between auditor, audit committee, and internal audit.
Finally, in total, audit committee is an important component in having the last say on the risks that is faced by an organization. Without the audit committee, the risk management process of an organization may not be complete and obsolete. Having an competent audit committee ensures the effectiveness of the risk management and the overall operations of an organization. That is all from us. Thank you very much.